Okay, so as the title suggests, this is the 6x6 V-Cube unboxing and review. We're going to start with the unboxing, of course. This is the package right here. It came, as my brother informs me, at around 4:45 today. I wasn't here at the time. It is the V-Cube. As you can see, it came Mr. Verdes in Corinth. Let's see, according to this, it shipped on 3/07/08, so about a week ago, and this is the 8th today. Exactly a week ago. I think what took a little longer was that the order took a little longer to process. As I recall, the order was processed about a week ago, and a week before that, it was actually ordered. So DHL shipping, apparently obviously shipped very fast. This is just one side, all the barcode and stuff. On the other side, we see the actual DHL package. From this, it looks like there's a little wear and tear here. There's a hole in it. I don't know if the camera necessarily picks it up as well. It's all scratched. Little tiny holes. Hopefully, I can feel the cube inside a little bit. It didn't. Can you? You can't feel it from this side somehow. It hopefully didn't the cube at all. But we shall see. I'm passing the cube off to, not the cube, the camera off to someone else to hold it so I can unwrap it and everything. Ooh. This is the best side. Good size I need to open it from. Use these shank-like scissors. And this is all that's inside, the glorious V-Cube itself. And at first impression, this is actually extremely small. I did not expect it to be anywhere near this big. But otherwise, yeah, there's nothing else in here now. I think there are seats in the front of this little bag up here. See, otherwise, it's, so V-Cube package, what it looks like is it used to be shifted in there at like a diagonal so you can see all three sides, but again, the wear and tear on the outside looks like it got shifted around a little bit, but no noticeable damage to the cube at this point. It's not bent in significantly on this side. Yeah, so very simple packaging though. Nothing big. I mean, it did come from Greece after all. You have to remember that. So it looks like this is the side that you would be unwrapping it from. Let's rip out the plastic. And so it is actually a semi-box. There's a bottom to it actually, so it doesn't fall out the bottom. And this is it. This is a kind of awe-inspiring moment. It's started out as the Olympic Cube. Now it's the V-Cube. It's still been the same though. It's a 6x6. And this is amazing just to pick it up in itself. Looking over just closely at all the stickers look pretty good. Overall, there's this mysterious bump right here. I don't know if the camera can necessarily pick that up. There's this unusual bump on the orange, on the yellow. I wouldn't worry about it too much, though. It's now the first turn, and this is also a very awe-inspiring moment. It's actually, it's the first 6x6 ever commercially on the market, and this is something that Erno Rubik himself predicted that could never be made, could never physically be made. So here goes. I'm just gonna slice it on the center, and that's amazing right there. I can't describe how awesome this is. So that's how the outside's turning. So very interesting, like amazing cube though. Like it's a 6x6. It turns a little unusually right now, but I'll report back in about an hour after messing around with this thing, and I'll tell you how it is. But otherwise, this is all that's in the box. The DHL thing, the DHL wrapping, I guess you call it.
Bag,
DHL bag. Thank you. The bag around the box, and the cube. Makes it a small sound. You shake it. Anyway. Alright, so I'll resume recording in about an hour to tell you how this cube handles and so forth. Alright, so you can cut now. So it's been about an hour now, a little over that, of messing around with this thing. And I have to say, I'm overwhelmed with its amazingness, if I dare to make up words. It's an incredible contraption, I have to admit. Wait, it's a bit, I can't speak straight. It's really cool to talk about this. I say too much, in case you haven't noticed. So let's see. Some pros about this thing. This is, I mean, it's the first 6x6. I'm truly impressed. It has this great sturdy mechanism. During the end, I solved it twice over the last 2 hours. And during the end of the second solve, I was getting pretty confident with the finger tricks that I can cut edges a little bit. And it doesn't look like much, but it's, for one thing, I haven't put lubricant in it, and it's still really impressive how loose and sturdy it is. And the great thing is that it fits in your hands. You'd expect a 6x6 to be humongous, and I'll admit it is a little bit bigger than your average 5x5 or something. I had to strain my thumbs feel a little bit strained after solving it twice over that hour. Yet it's still very manageable. It definitely gives your fingers a workout though if it's the first time solving it, because your muscles aren't used to this size of cube, I suppose. Well, just a comparison, because I didn't actually show that in the beginning. Here's a 3x3. That's about let's see how would I adjust that. Yeah. You can tell it's about the size of 4 cubes, or 6, no, 5. I can't count. 5 cubes like that. 3. Bring over the Rubik's. This is a Rubik's 4x4. It's almost the same size. This one, and then we actually get smaller. This is a Eachine 5x5. It's a little. It's between the 3x3 and the 4x4. And then lined up, it's actually very funny how counterintuitive it is, because it goes from small to. Let's see, it's easier to see it like this: small to medium to small again, and to relatively medium. It's still the biggest of these 4. I mean, the 2x2. I mean, the 2x2s, you know, Eachine 2x2, about that big, 2/3 of a 3x3. Anyway, let's see. Nothing else really to complain about, like or to compliment about the mechanism. It is truly amazing. And then now for the cons. As for the cons, it's there's unusual things with it. I can't do it on command, but you can hear that click, that firm click right there. It lines it up with the rest of the layers, and if you don't hear that firm click when you turn it, every other side locks up, and it's a little confusing. I don't know if you'd call it a con. Well, yeah, you definitely call it a con. The other con is, when I was solving it, it did pop 3 times. Once a piece went about 4 feet away, it popped with such power. But then again, that's also my fault. I get too confident with the cube, and I think I can twist more than I can, and it, as a result, it pops some places. And putting it back together is the internal core is something, and it's very impressive. Let's just keep with that. It's built so that it doesn't pop, or it doesn't pop with such intensity, unless you're really going at it like I was with it when it did pop. So overall, I'd say this amazing cube. The final con that I would say is if you do live in the Americas or way outside of Europe, it is rather pricey. So in US dollars, it's about 60, 65, and then plus shipping, which for me was $30. And it's a little pricey, but I mean, you have to remember it's going almost halfway around the world. So my final recommendation: if you can afford this cube, I would highly recommend getting it. If you like solving new puzzles like this, if you're tired of solving your average 3x3, 5x5, 2x2, 4x4, the 6x6 is definitely something to get your brain working again. It's highly entertaining. Definitely recommend it. Other questions I may receive about this: I don't think I'll be posting a tutorial online on it. I wouldn't say I'm nowhere near intermediate level of this cube, and far and decades away from mastery. Well, I meant decades. I was trying to think the distance of time, or distance of length. Gigameters, I'd say, yeah, that's a good one. I'm gigameters away from mastery level here. But my recommendation is, if you can afford it, get one. If you can't, you're not missing out. You're not missing out on that much. If you go to competitions, like the chances are is that someone there will probably have one that they'll let you try out. So, and that's it. So yeah, see you next time.